channel recently.
Yeah, we're live. Came on. Fantastic. How's everyone doing? Andrea, Patrick. Okay, we're going to answer some questions, talk about some things. If it's okay for me to ask, so how you doing with Jesse being in the United States?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it gives you a nice break.
Yeah, it's been 1 week without him, and it's my emotions are up and down. Sometimes I'm really missing him, and other times I'm enjoying some alone time.
Sure, you get a good break from that. Yeah. And we got Piper, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeah, Piper John from Florida. How you doing, buddy? Doing good?
John.
And Brett Radar, hello from Pennsylvania. Happy Mother's Day, Andrea.
Aw, thanks so much, Brett. Appreciate that.
April. That's right. Happy Mother's Day to everyone in America. So they had
Mother's Day. Yeah, they had mothers out there.
Exactly. And they had Mother's Day here like a month ago?
Probably about a month ago. Yeah.
So thanks for saying that to the wife. Thanks for saying that to Andrea. Very much appreciate it. We do have some news. The Vlora Airport had a certification flight. And for what I'm reading, they're supposed to open it up around June, which would be great news.
That would be wonderful.
I also read it's going to have the longest runway in the Balkans. Now, the reason that's important because then they can put the bigger jets in. You'll have nonstop flights to the U.S. So things are coming around. Want to pick that up, Andrea?
Greetings from Berlin.
Berlin, God, I love Germany. You were in Germany not too long ago.
Yeah. We spent 1 day walking around Munich. Absolutely loved it there.
Beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
Architecture is great.
Oh, yeah.
I was stationed there like a lifetime ago, 40 years ago. But I love Germany. I hope to make it back there
Yeah, I did
soon.
too.
I hope so. And John, also happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Good going, John. You're exactly right. So
Thank you, John.
Yeah, they deserve it. Yeah, they're doing really good. Piper John, that's good news. Yeah, it is good news at the airport. Kind of surprised me because also we weren't hearing nothing. And also I was reading in the newspaper today. You can find newspapers online. And they were talking about the certification flight, and they're really pushing to open it by June. I think they're being a little quiet about it in case there's another delay.
That's what I sense too.
Right.
Hi, all. Massive fan of Andrea. Bailey! Hi!
Hello, Bailey. I heard about you. We're trying to keep her out of trouble. We're doing our best over here.
So Bailey is my dear friend in the United States who will be coming to visit me here soon.
Very cool. Very cool.
So glad you're here.
Say hello, Patrick. Hello, Andrea. Angel met Robert. Okay, good to see you. I know we've been chatting. I think you're about to make the move out here, if I remember correctly. I've been talking to so many people. Are you selling your house right now? I think you are. Okay. Jen, you want to take that?
Germany rules.
It does. Very much.
Germany was very beautiful. I really enjoyed Germany.
Yeah, I was at Hahn Air Base near Wiesbaden for about 3 years. I really enjoyed it. See, we see A Zamzam says this is Patrick's wife. Yes, so now you know who it is. Bailey.
I just waved back.
So when is Bailey coming out?
About 1 month.
Oh, very good.
She and I are going to meet up, maybe in Italy, and then we're going to bounce around a little bit. We have some plans to go to Greece, but then of course to come back here so I can show her my world. This will be the first time that I have someone from the United States coming out here so that I can show them my life in person.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm really excited.
Annis Roberts, yes, I'm downsizing the process. Yeah, man, it's hard. We made it. I know it's the same as with you. 4 suitcases and 2 backpacks, and that is it. That is difficult.
I got all my stuff down to a small storage unit. So I still do have a storage unit in the United States that's just full of keepsake stuff, really. And that's about it.
Lisa, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm. Just popped on to say hi. It's about dinner time where I am, and we have a special meal for Mom. Aw, I will watch later.
Okay, very good.
Thanks for popping on, Lisa.
All right, thank you, Lisa. Appreciate you. And it's Robert. I'm selling my house before the end of the year, I hope. I know a lot of people wait for the interest rates to drop, so it's really slowed down the house selling process. But I understand it's starting to drop in America. I sure hope so. Brett Radar, Greece and Italy, my 2 favorite places. Also Albania, very good.
Awesome.
Nice choices.
Yeah, so I've never been to Greece or Italy, and Bailey has never been to Greece or Albania. So that'll be fun for us. Yeah.
Next month, huh?
Uh-huh.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Very cool. So now your son's gone. April and I were going to Cortia tomorrow. We're going to be in Cortia for a couple of days. And I know you really loved Cortia.
Yeah. I didn't see very much of it, but what I did see was really beautiful.
Now, were you near the Old Bazaar? Is that where you were?
Mostly just in the Old Bazaar, but we also walked around in a park that was nearby.
Okay.
But it was just beautiful, the cobblestone streets and the old buildings. We really enjoyed it.
God, we're looking forward to it. So we should be there for just a couple of days. So really feel it out.
I think you're going to love it.
I heard it's real chill.
It is. It had a real chill vibe, and the ride there isn't too bad. You're taking the bus?
Yeah, we're going to take the bus.
Okay, good for you. Are you really taking the bus?
It's an inside joke we got going. I always say I'm going to take the bus and I'm taking the taxi. So I got to get better at that. So I did walk again to the bus station.
Okay,
So I knew how to get there.
And the bus from Pokerdetch to Korcha is very reliable every 45 minutes.
Okay, that's cool.
But Craig told me that it stops running at 4 p.m., which is pretty early. So just plan for that when you're coming back.
How long was the trip?
They said it was an hour and 6 minutes. I felt like it was more like 45.
Okay.
I think they factor that extra time in there because they don't know how many stops they're making along the way.
Gotcha.
Because people will flag them down and they'll pull over and pick up more people along the way. It was, I think it was $4 per person.
How cheap is that?
Yeah.
Sure beats a taxi.
Yeah.
I love the taxi just because of convenience of it. To save money, I got to get
I had our taxi guy take us to and from the trailhead yesterday. And
yeah.
I love him. He's wonderful and reliable and drives very safe. He's very sweet, but God, it's expensive just to go hiking.
And he wouldn't let you go unless you stop for coffee.
Yeah,
right?
He asked me if I want to stop for coffee about 10 times. I declined. I was stinky. I was sweaty. This was after the hike.
Right.
And I was dirty. I was sitting in mud and he's like, you want to stop for coffee? I'm like, no. I said no about 10 times and got all the way back home. I was getting out of the cab. It still somehow ended up at the coffee shop before he just insisted.
Yeah.
When an Albanian asks you if you want food or coffee, you don't say no.
Right. And the comments went back, but Elio said hi. It was good to see you, Elio.
Hi, Elio.
And Brett, you really need to see Geocaster. I do, man. It's on my list.
It's high up on my list as well.
Right. We saw Burat in that, which I think was absolutely beautiful. Very similar, I think, to Geocaster. So we'll get there. So much this country for us to see.
Yeah.
Patrick Hamilton, like the first name. I have a friend, my old boss, is in Albania now. He said it's lovely, that the food is more expensive than what he expected. It depends on the menu, because some of the menus, you're going to have your expensive stuff. Once you learn the menu of a particular restaurant, you can eat cheap. And
as far as groceries go, what I'm finding is that the produce is substantially cheaper than what I was paying in the U.S. for better quality, but the meat isn't necessarily that much cheaper. I think it's probably a lot better quality, but it's not really cheaper.
Right. And
do you agree with that?
Yeah, and the beef's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
It's the only thing, the beef will cost you. GW, hello from Denver. Thanks for the videos. You've been so helpful. My wife and I look to make the move. Very good. Now, where are you in the process? Are you selling your house right now? Are you getting close? Okay, just want to know. Want to take Piper?
How are housing prices in Korcha? That looks like a good place to consider.
Probably the same as here, I would think.
I haven't looked into Korcha at all. I have no idea. I would imagine that anywhere's cheaper than Tirana.
Correct.
It might be comparable to here, but I would imagine maybe a little bit more expensive because they do have more conveniences.
Yeah. But for this place, if you're new to the channel, I bought it for 64,000 euros, which at the time came out to $68,000. The dollar hasn't done well lately. I think if I bought it today, it'd be 72,000. So I imagine, of course, you can get a really nice place for probably 90,000. That is my guess. And the pricing go up higher, man. It all depends on what you want and the size of it. But I think 90 to 100,000, you can get something really nice. Okay, here's Elo.
Pretty good. Can't wait till end of June for my vacation to Pokerdetch for 5 weeks.
Right.
Awesome.
Can't
wait for you as well.
Look me up I always say if I'm in town, I'd love to meet you for coffee. I really mean that. But sometimes April and I are bopping around either out of the country or to another city here. So I hope we're here. I'd love to meet you. But if you're going to be here for 5 weeks, I'm sure I'll be back in time. So that'd be cool. Elo, you're from Denver as well. All right, cool. Denver, I spent a little bit of time there in the winter. I froze my butt off. It's pretty cold. I was at Laurie Air Force Base. I froze my butt off. Like Brett said, also really depends on the restaurant for the prices. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
But you can still find great deals. We go out all the time and we're spending less than $10 a plate.
Yeah. Well, now that Jesse's not here, when I go out, I'm spending about $10, sometimes with tip, sometimes a little bit more. But for just one person, it's easy to get a nice meal and spend, maybe $10 or $12 with a tip. With Jesse, though, it was always way more.
16-year-old young man. Yeah, they can show that food
$30,
down.
$40, $50 for two of us.
Can you imagine if you were feeding back in the States right now?
No.
You couldn't do it. Oh. GW, just planning now for how to move. Probably more about 6-8 months out. Okay. Yeah, it takes time. People think it's easy. It's not. Get rid of your stuff, decide on what you're going to keep and give away or whatever. Patrick Hamilton, thank you. And Patrick is a good name. Yes, it is, sir. He was in Toronto and heading south, so maybe cheaper till he gets to Toronto. Okay. The only thing with Toronto, like Laura, I just hear nightmare stories that it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but just so crowded with the tourists. Just out of this world. If April I go to Toronto, probably September. You know what I mean? A little bit past summer.
August is the busiest month in Surrender. July would be second, but then I guess after August it dies down quite a bit.
Right. We've seen that last summer.
Yeah.
When we were up here last summer, they closed down the streets. No cars were allowed to drive, and just people were just going up and down the streets. It was funny though. Right about 9 o'clock, everyone just went in their homes. So
it does stay quiet at night here.
Yeah. Really. Denver can go up 10 degrees to 80 degrees in 2 days.
Yeah, that's like Ohio. Yeah.
Yep.
That's one thing that I've noticed that I noticed right away after moving to Albania is how consistent the temperature is.
Yes.
The summer was hot. It was hot every day, 95 to 100 degrees every day. The spring here has been consistently in the low 60s.
Right.
Every single day. It doesn't fluctuate that much. We had that one freak snowstorm, but
right in April. That's kind of shocking.
Yeah.
But she's right. Especially we were both in Toronto during the summer. It was brutally hot. My wife April wouldn't go out until sunset.
A lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
There were a couple of times where I left the house around noon or 1, and I'd walk around the streets, and it was a ghost town. It was very eerie because nobody's out in the middle of the day.
No, I was trying to force myself out, thinking I would get used to it. I never got used to it. But Toronto's hot. Toronto's real hot. So it depends. So we moved when we came to Poker Dust together. That and Courtship, because I was asked by some people that a couple I just met, their wife does not do good in the heat. So I said, you got to come to Poker Dust or Courtship. It's much cooler, much cooler.
Yeah.
You want to take that one?
I'm trying to convince my Colorado friends to visit Poker Dust. They would really love it.
Yes, they would. Let's see, Patrick Hamilton. Any negatives about Albania that you would like to share? I wouldn't say negatives. The thing I always try to remind myself, it's not America. Okay, so don't try to make it. It's interesting because you can have a brand new, gorgeous building next to a building that's about ready to fall down. And like I said, it's not my country, so I can't complain about it, and I don't complain about it. But really, it's everything what we expected.
Yeah, and there weren't too many shocks when we moved here. It was everything that we expected. You can find out everything I think you need to know through YouTube videos. At least that was true for me. Just by watching the YouTube videos, I had a good idea of what to expect, and there wasn't too much of a shock. There are a lot of stray dogs. I wish there weren't so many, but I knew that by watching YouTube.
Right.
Trying to think what else. The traffic. I mean,
Toronto.
There's not a secret. The traffic here is crazy.
Right. And to you.
Hi guys. Do you know where? Didn't know you were live right now, Andrea. I forward your video with groceries to some friends in the U.S. to get them to cry. Thank you.
That's good. That's cool. Yeah. Her vegetable videos are very interesting. She gives a good price breakdown, and plus there's no pesticides on it or anything crap like that. So.
Yeah, and you can tell just by looking at it. Like I showed in one video, they're not genetically modified because they're ugly. They're all different shapes and sizes. They're not consistent. They look like they're supposed to, and they go bad very quickly.
Right, they're not going to last that long.
Yeah.
To make a good point on that, a friend of mine went back to the States and he said it looked like all the fruits were exactly the same. The apples looked exactly the same. Mm-hmm. Every apple was exactly the same, almost like they were fake. So I know what you mean when you say genetic engineering. Mad Madam, where I live in North California, the summer hits 110 to 115 easy. Oh. I remember one year it hit 122. Wow. Now the thing is, where we were spoiled because I just had to get out of my house, go to my car, flip on the air conditioner. Can't do that no more. Can't do that. So, see, John, you want to take that one?
Oh, go ahead.
Making my fact-finding trip in July. Very good. Nice. Staying at Hotel Poker Desk.
Oh, yes, wonderful.
I just did a video there. Great review, Patrick. Thank you so much. When I make the final move carrying in 2 suitcases, shipping 2, how does the import tax work on clothes? Anything imported in here, and they're going to stick it to you for importation tax. That's the only thing. So whatever you can bring over that you want to have here, try to bring it over with you, because we had small package. It costed me like $200 just to come here. So that's probably one of the downsides. Shipping things in, that's how they make their tax money, or one of their ways, I should say. Biker 911, Uncle, that's my Uncle Gary. He's cool.
Oh.
Happy Mother's Day, April. Love you. He's in California. It's good to hear from him. He follows along. So Uncle Gary, take care of Aunt Kathy for me. Quick story about my Uncle Gary. When he was a young man, him and my Aunt Kathy in Rochester, New York, where I was born, jumped on the back of his Harley and rode it all the way to California.
Wow.
Then he got to California and someone stole his motorcycle.
That's terrible.
But he made it.
At least he made it.
Yeah, and he's lived there. He's done really well. Retired now, living in Southern California. So Uncle Gary, I love you. Good to see you. Take care of Aunt Kathy for me. Give her a kiss for me. Mad Madam. She's living in Redding. Yeah, Redding gets really hot. Ooh. Let's see. Madam, 3 hours north of Sacramento. Yeah, California. It'll get hot. Get expensive too. Man, we transferred to Texas. Was the best thing we ever did. I'm not trying to put down California. It's just too expensive. You just couldn't do it, man. Steve Mack. Hey, guys. Great job.
Hi, Steve.
Mama. I'll take that one. Patrick Gunter. Gunter. Great guy. I met him for one day. He'll fly to Skopje early October, explore for a week or so on the bus to Ohrid, then hope to connect with you guys in Poland. Love to see you again. Want to see if Durst could fit me. What was interesting with this guy, I loved his attitude. I think he's 70, 72. And also we go out for drinks and I go, how long are you here in the Toronto? He goes, I don't know. But yeah, he just
love that.
Yeah, nothing in stone. Just we'll figure it out as we go along. And I just love that attitude. I thought it was so cool. This is for you.
Hi, Andrea and Pat. Oh, it moved. Long-time viewer and subscriber. First-time chatter from Oklahoma. Glad you're here. Question: when y'all do videos showing Lake Ohrid, there are never any boats. Are boats with motors not allowed?
Yeah,
are they? I don't know. So I love that about Lake Ohrid. There's not a lot of boats. We do see a lot of paddle boats out in the morning, and I think I'll see people put little trolling motors on their boats.
On the back of the boats, and they get out there every morning and do some fishing. Now, when we went to North Macedonia, I saw a lot of boats out there. They have tourist boats, glass bottom boats, so you can see.
Why do you think there aren't more bigger boats out there?
I don't know. There's one docked over here.
Yeah, I've seen that. And it never moves.
Yeah, and they keep saying they're going to try to make it to take it to North Macedonia.
Like a ferry.
Yeah, but they just never do. So it's still stuck. So we'll wait. We'll see how it goes. Redding is about cheap area of California, but so much more expensive than most of the U.S. Yep, that's the reason I escaped. Uncle Gary, thanks, nephew. Love it. Give Aunt Kathy a kiss for me. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Want to take that one?
Moving to Skoda in July. Any suggestions for a place to stay? I've never been, but Patrick has.
Right on pedestrian walkway. We stayed at a hotel called City Center. What was cool about it, if you're right on top of a walkway, a lot of times there's so much noise because of that pedestrian walkway. But you make a right there. There's a big sign. You can't miss it. City Center is very affordable. I want to say $40 a night. And it goes back maybe 100 feet. And the guy running the place gives you a good breakfast. City Center, perfect location right on the pedestrian walkway. So I strongly suggest that.
Bailey says, I'm watching with my mother-in-law, Marilyn, whose mind is blown that someone I know is in Albania. She's in awe that the world is so small. Hi, Marilyn. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us.
Brett Radar. My wife and I are going to Kosovo in September. Then we decide between Albania and Kosovo for retirement.
Nice.
Good choices. I've heard great things about Kosovo. Haven't been there yet, but I will. But I know the relationship between Albania and Kosovo is really good. So I'm glad you're exploring, man. Get that retirement. I couldn't imagine retiring in America right now. I wouldn't be able to afford it.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's scary, real scary. You want to take that one from John?
Mm-hmm. Varies by person, but in your opinion, will 10 days be enough to meet with realtors, lawyers, etc.? My move is simple. Just me renting first year in Albania, only bringing clothes. See, simple. It is definitely possible. I did it in 7. I came here and got an Airbnb for 7 days and was in an apartment and got my internet hooked up and everything by the end of that 7 days. I wish I would have spent a little bit more time looking around. But if you're just a single person or 2 adults, then I think that would be even easier because I had my son to worry about as well. I think it's enough. I know you say a month, but I mean, if you're just coming here and spending that whole time looking around, that's plenty of time.
Yeah, it could be done.
Yeah.
It could definitely be done. I would hit that realtor as soon as you got here, though. tell them exactly what you want, or find
Hit 'em all.
see if you can email a couple before you even get it.
They'll be blowing up your phone. I mean, that's what happened to me. You just start reaching out, and they all start sending you all their listings, and you just pick the ones you want to go see.
Oh, real interesting, and Andrea knows this as well. If you just try to look for places online, 90% of places are not online.
Yes, and the ones you do find online tend to be more expensive.
Right.
You'll definitely find better deals, and that's what I did. I ended up paying too much. So if you spend more time looking, you could probably find a better deal because you can ask around and network a little better. But when you go to like the more well-known places, they have higher prices for sure.
Right, because we were looking online, couldn't find nothing until we stumbled into our realtor's office.
It's definitely true for these smaller areas too.
Right, definitely.
There's nothing for poker decks,
right,
other than Airbnbs and hotels.
And just because our realtor was in Toronto, they were still able to find different places in different cities, which is really good. They were ones that hooked me up for up here. I asked them to find me a deal, and they did. So I had to jump on it. So it was really good. Things worked out. Also, when they write up the contracts, like we did in Toronto, whatever your rent is, let's say your rent was going to be $500 a month. So the cost of the realtor would be $250, half of the rent for them to write up the contract. It's a one-time payment to the realtors for them to write up the contract. Okay, that's how that works.
So to move into most places, you're gonna have your first last security plus that additional half of a month's rent as the fee.
Right, to get a contract going. Okay, Piper John going. Yeah, same here, just me and my suitcase and backpack. I'm looking at probably autumn of 2026. I was stunned at that when we finally pushed the button and we're making it. Still, it took us almost a year. Sell the house, get rid of the cars, get rid of everything, take it down. It takes time. I was surprised how long. Even the last month felt like just a sprint.
Yeah.
We were sprinting towards the finish.
Sure.
Let's see. John going, great. 10-day trip is just fact find and lock in a lease, then back to the U.S. to close out and make the move final by September. Good for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did both use the same realtor? Yes.
Yes, Illyrian Homes.
Yep.
Illyrian Homes. Yeah, I always listen to them. If I remember, I'll try, after we're done with this, I'll try to listen again in the comment section. What I liked about them, I was going to buy another place in Toronto. And what happens is they weren't quite building it yet. I'm good to go. He calls me in the office and goes, I don't like something in this title. I advise you not to buy it. And right there, I said, you're my guy. Because he walked away from a deal where he could have made money. And I wouldn't have known there was a problem there in the title till I try to sell it or will it to my daughter. So I very much appreciate it. So right there with their honesty, I said, you're my guy.
I had a good experience with them too. When I first moved into my apartment, the power went out for a long period of time. And I texted him and he rode his bike over to my apartment in the 100-degree heat to find out what was wrong. And he found out that they happened to be replacing something in the building that day.
Okay.
But it was like a Saturday. It was odd hours, whatever it was, and he took care of it right away because he felt bad that I ran into this issue right after moving in.
Right, Julian, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think he got married though.
Yeah.
I'll have to catch up and see what's up. How do you find a realtor if you don't speak the language and they are not online? When we walked around Toronto, you're going to see realtors everywhere.
Yeah.
Century 21 is big there. I didn't see them though. I went to Illyrian Home. Like I said, I'll try to put their information in the description after we do this. The only thing with the mail, instead of .com, it's .al for Albania. That's the one thing at first. Everyone keeps telling me, no, I can't reach them because you're putting .com.
Yeah.
I put .al.
As far as the language goes, I think any realtor's office in Toronto is probably going to have an English speaker. I shouldn't say any, but it's very easy to find English speakers in Toronto. Especially if they're under the age of maybe like 40.
Right. Plus any businesses, they tend to make sure that someone's there that can speak English really well. Dana, John?
Great info. Yes, been downsizing for a year, etc. Thank you both very much. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much, John. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking at times. I can't tell you how many times that you feel what kind of stress you're getting down. I remember when we got rid of our bed. Also, I'm sleeping on an air mattress. It's about this big. And I remember looking at it going, God, please let this be the right decision.
You don't have a bed anymore.
It's like a reality just slaps you in the face. Man, I'm just wanting to say, Andrea, you look really pretty today.
Aw.
Right there.
Well, thank you. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah. Thanks for not saying anything about me there.
Right before the live, Patrick was bragging that he just went to and got your facial done. You had your eyebrows waxed and all this. So.
Yeah. You know, you can ask about the States, but
he's not going to forget that.
I don't ask for here, but so I go to get my head shaved, right? So they shave my head, they trim my eyebrows, they get the nose hairs out and pluck those out, got the hair out of my ears. So I'm looking quite dapper today. And Madam, you said nothing. I'm just teasing with you. I'm just messing with you. So go cry now. Do you know, have you met anyone with pet dogs and know if there are any problems finding apartment rentals getting to the cities? You almost brought a dog. You can probably answer that better.
So I've heard that you're going to have, like I've heard several times, oh, you're going to have trouble finding a place if you have a pet. I haven't found that to be true. They're certainly not listed online. You have to ask around, but there's enough places for rent that someone's gonna rent to you if you have a dog. Now, with my place currently, they said no pets. I said, well, what if I give you a pet fee? They said, okay. And it was as simple as that. I mean, there was no discussion past that. I don't think they had ever even considered a pet fee.
Okay. Before it scrolls off, sorry, you look handsome from that now. Yeah. No, I'm just messing with you. I'm just kidding with you. You know, so please never take me serious. Never take me serious.
We don't.
Brett Radar, the hardest part of the decision is leaving the people.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm talking about it before. The only thing is like, all of a sudden I'm working. All I did, I'm sure I know you were the same. I'd work Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, do my chores, you know, mow the lawn, work on the cars. Then Monday, I'm right back at it. Even vacations, we really couldn't afford to go anywhere. It was just taking a week off work, you stay at home, you know, with your significant other. And that was it. So, and then my son moved to Nebraska, daughter, she's working. So you're working so much, you're really not seeing as much as you think you are, you know, and we just couldn't retire in the States, couldn't do it. Let's see, wing variant. Madam, I'm only kidding, okay? So please don't take me serious. I appreciate it. Want to take on?
Good morning. Oh no. Okay. Good morning. Question about pets. Do you find they allow pets in most places? Like if you buy an apartment condo, or do pet policies not exist? I feel like pet policies don't really exist yet. But I don't think you're going to have much trouble. I see people, especially in Toronto, I went into a bougie little cafe and people walk right in there with their little dogs and they just set them down at the seats. And I find Albania to be pet friendly, but maybe new to the idea of having pets.
Right. You see them in restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
That's all fine. Mm-hmm. John, although I've traveled a great deal, I must say thank you, the two of you, for all the videos that you've done.
You're welcome.
Between my travels, your videos, live streams, reduce stress, mistakes, and so thank you. Well, thank you, John. It's a great deal of us. You know, believe it or not, the live streams are a little difficult. You know, you know what it is? Once you're into it, it's cool. But leading up to it, you're like, ugh. Because before you do a video, you can always just delete it, start over your phone.
They make me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
Patrick,
Allison,
you look great.
Thank you, Allison.
Now everyone's got to give you compliments, right? Don't feed his ego.
Now it feels like I'm fishing. You guys better say something nice. Okay. So whatever. Hello. Now from Canada in transit to Albania.
Yay.
Good. Man, I've been hearing some news about Canada too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the economy and everything. I've been hearing some news. I hoping it's wrong. You don't know what to believe on television anymore. But I think you'll like it here, man. Really do. Just give it a chance. Give it a chance. Madam is laughing. Good. You should be laughing. That's good. Kelly's talking to you right here.
Andrea, since you still work, is your quality of life better overall? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when I was in the States, I was working an unbelievably toxic career, and I would not give it up because it was the only way I could pay the bills and keep my son fed, and it was horrible. I now have the most amazing job in the world. I have my dream job, and I work for wonderful people, and I work 6 hours, give or take, every day. In the United States, I was working days, nights, and weekends, 16-hour days. You know, I mean, it was so toxic. So yes, my quality of life is 180 degrees better.
Yeah, she mentioned you right there.
I was shocked to how much Andrea used to work in the U.S. just to get by. Yeah, it was, and it destroyed my health. And I'm dealing with a lot of that now. I have a lot of back appointments and things like that. I'm rehabbing from just how awful my job was. But again, I wouldn't give it up because I needed that money.
Regina, I'm planning a fall trip. I'm hoping good hiking weather so I can link up with Andrea for some rock climbing. Yes. Regina, good. I'm glad you're here. She's been really asking a lot of questions. I can tell you're getting close. You're getting close.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
So a fall trip, good deal. Okay, maybe September, October. So good time to come, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Brett, performance anxiety. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Thank you. My husband and I are looking to move to Albania. We have 3 cats looking to buy a place, not to rent. So thank you too, bro. Yeah, if you buy a place, man, you could have 10 dogs in there, 10 cats. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like just in the States, like people are renting a place and they might not want a cat or a dog. It's the only thing that makes it difficult.
Sure.
This one's probably for you, for Kelly.
Do you have to work odd hours? So I work Eastern Standard Time hours. So I work basically 10 to 4 Eastern Standard Time. And here that is 4 to 10. So it's a great schedule for me. I have the entire morning and early afternoon to hike, shop, take care of my house, whatever. And then I work for the rest of the evening. And so it's really great for me. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't consider moving to like Southeast Asia was because I would have been working overnight. And I didn't want that.
Time difference. There's Ellen for you.
Andrea, have you and April planned on some shopping in Poland for jewelry and purses? Patrick better bring a fat wallet. Yeah.
Don't give me any ideas.
Yeah, I really want to go to Poland. And yeah, some of that shopping looks like a lot of fun. It's on my list. There's so many places on my to-do list.
Right.
It's
a big world out there.
Yeah.
My wallet's already crying. Okay, Mary Gomez, I'm so confused about how to bank in Albania. I'm planning to be there in October and stay for 1 year. I'm very excited. What happened with me, I was told to go to Union Bank, and I did. Now, I'm not saying this is every bank. This is just my experience. The lady couldn't understand. She goes, why do you want to open an account if you're only going to be here for at most a year? I kept saying, no, I live here. And so I ran to a roadblock. Then I got my 5-year residency. And I went to Credence Bank, and it was a snap. But to use your ATM cards here or Western Union is the best way to go, and just have your money stateside. And then I just simply transfer my money over to my Albanian bank is how I do it. We both have banks where you get your ATM fees automatically given back to you. You have Fidelity, I have Charles Schwab, and I love that very much. Steve Mack, both of you guys look much healthier, thank you, than when you first arrived. What are you trying to say, man?
I take it as a compliment, Steve.
I'm just messing with you, Steve. Yeah, good. Keep eating good and showing us. Ha. Yeah. I'm just messing with you, Steve. Good point. Yeah, we feel better. Certainly a lot less stress.
Yeah, so I think it's combined better quality food, but also substantially less stress.
Yeah. Frugal Van or question, Patrick, would your RE residency support folk be knowledgeable about willing to help me with finding some inexpensive apartment to purchase in Durst? Yeah, what I'll do, like I said, the realtors that we both use that we're both happy with, I'm going to try to put that down in the description code. Okay, so I'm gonna try.
Do they actually have a website? I've never seen them online. Yeah. Okay, they do.
Yeah, because they gave me their business card, and that's where I can see it.
Okay.
So we'll put it down there. You want to take that, Keith?
Keith from the States. I got $1,300 per month to spend. Is that enough to make it there? It's just myself.
Personally, I would say you can. It depends. I have one subscriber that is living in Elbasan, which is not really a big tourist area. Fully furnished apartment, $200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would say $1,300. Yeah, but you're going to have to get out of places like Tirana or the real.
And I think I don't. I can't verify this, but I think if you really ask around, you can find places even cheaper.
Yeah.
This country has a lot to offer, but you really have to just network, and it's not online. And then, of course, if you budget and are frugal, then I think so.
Yeah. Also, if you can, maybe try to get something online, even just if it's a small income, and try to get that going now before you come. So you got a little bit of extra income. At least try it. Look into it. If you make an extra $50 a month, it's $50 a month. Don't be afraid to try that. So, but things are going well for both of us. Doing really good. You know,
Yeah.
I'm glad you got your friend coming out. How cool is
I'm
that?
so excited.
So, where are you guys gonna go now? Are you gonna go to Greece? Is that what you
Oh, we're going everywhere. We're trying to narrow it down because she's very much like me, and we get very excited and we start planning a lot of things.
Sure.
So we're trying to focus and hone in on a few things. We're definitely going to do Italy and Greece and Albania, and maybe we should stop there because that's
a lot.
3 countries.
That's a lot.
And there's so much to see in Albania. So
Right.
I want to show her the places that I know in Albania, but I would also like to go explore new places with her. We'd like to check out Saranda and that area down south, and there's just so much to see.
You know what I want to do with April? We're going to go to Durrës so we can take the ferry over to Bari.
I thought about
So the
doing
journey is like as cool as.
I thought about that
Yeah.
until I saw the cost of the prices of the flights. You will not believe how much the flights are from Tirana to Rome.
They're dog cheap.
$20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. So
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I'm not getting on that ferry. I don't know why.
I know that would be cool.
But yeah, once you're here, as you know, popping around Europe is very inexpensive. Very inexpensive, including Turkey. You know, a lot of people go to Turkey. Let's see. Andreas, what has been your favorite experience in Albania so far? What has surprised you the most? What do you think? For me, traveling to different cities, and it was a surprise and a pleasant one. Every city, the vibe is so different. Okay, like Toronto's to New York, everything's clicking. Come to Poker Desk, I call it Mayberry. You know, waiting for Opie to walk by with his fishing pole. Durrës, Elbasan, no matter where we go, every city's different. The one, I shouldn't say the one drawback. The one drawback for the States that I would have to say is no matter what city you go to, you always see the same chain of restaurants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So everything's like the same almost, you know? But the one thing that's surprising in a very good way is that every city has its own vibe. And it's really almost like another country. So it's really cool. You want the mountains, you got it. You want the Adriatic Sea, you got it. You want Oran, one of the oldest lakes in all of Europe, you got it. You know, so there's just so much.
The history, the scenery.
Right.
I'm trying to pinpoint what my favorite experience was. It's the hikes. I'm trying to figure out which one, but we've been on so many that are so unbelievably scenic. Jesse and I would always say, this looks fake because it's just so beautiful. Exactly. It's hard to believe that it's real. But it would be one of our hikes. I can't pinpoint which one would be the best. The Prespa hike was pretty cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
This question's for you.
Andrea, your 1 year is coming up. Are you getting your residence permit or are you leaving for 90 days? With Jesse leaving for the summer, his 1 year will reset, right? Yep. So we're not worried about Jesse because he's resetting. I'm applying. I applied kind of late. It's possible that I don't get it. And if I do, I'll leave for whatever period of time is left. But yes, I am applying for my residency permit. I'm going for the digital nomad, which is a 2 year.
Piper John, Mayberry sounds wonderful. It does.
This is bigger than Mayberry.
I got that vibe though, where they had the lake.
Yeah.
And Opie throws a rock at the lake and stuff like that. So it's just very chill here. And as Andrea just said, it is so pretty. It doesn't look real.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at the mountains behind the lake,
Yeah.
it's just absolutely gorgeous. In the winter, they were snow capped.
Oh my gosh,
so
that was the
pretty.
best. When everything was sprinkled with snow.
You're right. And Regina, I want to settle close to the new airport. There you go. So I can take advantage of the ferry and flights to other European cities.
Good idea.
Excellent idea. Really good idea. I like that. And also I was surprised when I saw the news that it's going up. You know, so surprised. Man, do you want to take that?
Poker Dash seems a lot like Reading, large lake mountains and easy lifestyle.
Yep, absolutely. Hit the nail on the head right there. So yeah, just beautiful. But like I said, just because Andrea and I love it, you might not. The beauty here is, like I said, the different vibes. So you might like a different city. Chris Forte, for him, is Toronto or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He just loves Toronto. It all depends on you. So if you do come here, check out the different cities, you know, and not just travel through, say a couple of days, maybe a weekend in each city, look around like that. Let's explore. It's really great. Piper John. Yes.
Oh, look.
Okay.
I have a screenshot from your lake expedition as a desktop background because it's so stunning. That's awesome.
Very good.
I'm guessing you're talking about the Prespa Lake one. That was so beautiful.
It is very
that
cool.
might have been my favorite experience so far.
There you go. Piper John, yes, those hikes look fantastic. We need to take a camera and tripod along.
Yeah. It annoys Jesse because I stop to take pictures so much, but since we've gotten the GoPro and the chest mount, then we don't stop as much because I can just turn it on and record as we're walking.
let's see, I trying to get it wrapped up in the States and would leave by shoulder season, but I shouldn't do that. So I'm arriving right in the late May, early June. And it's hard to find affordable hotels and Airbnbs online, especially when we come in June. You're really starting to come into where the tourist season is. If you can, May, yeah, or September, if you can, it puts you more in the driver's seat for rental places. You know, so I can suggest that. But if you have to come in June, come in June. You know, but like if I was coming in tourist season, I wouldn't try to get that 1 year lease until after the tourist season. You know, and then you can probably get better deals.
Yeah, I made that mistake.
That happens. Don't worry. It worked out great for you.
Yeah, it did.
I know in the past, it's coming from John. I know in the past you've addressed this, but when I arrive, exchange money to airport or once in town and lek or euros. What I did, I came here with 3,000 euros, okay, not knowing what to expect. You can exchange in the airport, but for me, yeah, wait till you get to town. Yeah, it's even with the Vodafone, right?
Yeah, they charge you an arm and a leg to do that.
Yeah.
So just bring a little bit, enough to get into town, and every ATM here will administer lek. So I have a Chase and a Fidelity card, and I have no problem getting lek out of the ATMs, and it just internally does the transfer.
Right, and what you can do, like what I did with that 3,000 euros, once you're in town, you're going to see a bunch of exchange places where you can exchange those euros for lek. Because in most countries, you can't get lek outside the country. But I was able to in Poland, which really surprised me. Yeah, I thought it was you only get it in Albania. But coming from America, I could not get lek. So I came over with euros. Came over about $3,000. Got into the city. They'll take the euros, but then I exchanged it in Toronto once I was there. Okay. John, I know in the past. Okay, what I said that. Suggestions, Weber. Trying to get wrapped up. Suggestions, go for a realtor. Ask them for help to show you around versus doing it online. You're not going to find much online, and when you do, as Andrea said, it's going to be more expensive than other places. Okay. Webster again, do you have any suggestions for alternatives given affordability of hotels? Yeah, like I said, you've got to go see a realtor. It worked out well for me, worked out well for Andrea. They're going to be on your side. That's what you got to do because, it gets weird.
You know, even just asking around, it seems like everybody knows somebody that has a place for rent.
Very true. Like our building manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's lived here in Pocodas his entire life. And they think I had to ask him, oh, yeah, I know this guy's renting this place. This guy rents this place. This guy's renting this place. He only rents out during the summer, shuts it down for the rest of the year. So it's everyone's not marching up and down the property. A lot of places only rent to you for the summer unless you make it worth their while. And I was like, what's worth their while? And they go, $300 a month. Yeah, I think I could do that. We can do that. So let's see here. John going, great. Thank you. You're very welcome. We've been on for about 40 minutes. Stay on a little bit longer?
Sure.
Good deal. Good deal. So went over that. April and I are going to Corsia. I'm going to stay there for a couple of days. I will go by the old
Bazaar.
Okay.
Yeah. You're going to love it.
Good deal. April's happy. We're going to just wake up, eat, whatever time we wake up, go down to the bus station, be proud of me. Or I did notice
you're going to have to send me a picture or I'm not going to believe it.
You know what? I did notice they have a little cafe there.
Yeah.
So I can have a cup of coffee while we're waiting.
Yep.
So that'd be cool. Good deal. Let's see. Steve Webster, you want to take that one?
Mm-hmm. I was just worried about where to stay in the first place, given it's been recommended to be in a hotel for 2 weeks to a month, and it's hard to find those now. Yeah.
Look up the Stefan Center. That's an American who owns that place. His name is Chris, and he's been here since the early 90s. He doesn't have a lot of rooms, but that's one place to try. You can try that online.
The hostels are super affordable too.
Right.
If that's something you're willing to do. The hostels and what do they call those other shared stays? Where people just rent out like rooms in their house.
Oh, I know, Sean. I don't know the exact name of it.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those.
For us, with me being married, I wouldn't want my wife in a hostel though. Mm-hmm. But some hostels, you still get a private room, but the other areas are shared.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking of.
If you can get a private room.
Think of the word.
I mean, way to go.
You can find them on booking.com, though. Some really good ones.
There you go. But maybe take a hotel or an Airbnb and then check out that realtor as soon as you get her. And if you're staying long term, please see a visa immigration lawyer. It's the best thing you can do. Mm-hmm. So, S. Webster, don't stress it. I feel your stress. I was the same way. Because when you're single, you don't care. But all of a sudden, I got a wife I got to worry about. So the stress comes. As my wife would say right here, Webster, if you're going to rent a car, go a little ways out. The rest will be cheap. True.
Substantially cheaper, yeah.
Yeah, once you
You
get
get
away
away
from
from the
city
city,
center.
yeah.
Wings, how have you found the medical overall? I've had a physical here, and I also went and saw a specialist in Toronto. Went to American Hospital #1. I think you went to American Hospital #2.
I went to American Hospital #2 and maybe 3. I went to 2 of them.
Okay.
1 and 2 or 2 or 3. I don't know.
Yeah, what it was is I've had skin cancer before, and there was a spot on my nose, and it scared my wife, so I had to get it checked out. I figured there's Swiss hospitals, German hospitals, so I went to American hospitals because I felt comfortable, and went in there. So saw a dermatologist specialist at a private hospital, and it cost me $16 out of pocket. Okay, my blood work here in Poker Desk was $35. I think you've had your physical here too, right? But really expensive.
No, well, yeah, I had a comprehensive list of checkups. I guess it was maybe a physical, but it was like everything. I actually have a video on it from last year. I can't remember all the tests that I had, but it was a ton of tests, and I paid about $200. I think it was 200 euros, so that would probably translate now to about 220.
And I do carry medical insurance through Cigna right now. I was, gosh, I can't even remember the name of it.
Genki?
Yeah, I was with Genki, which is where we travel. Chris from the Stefan Center, because he's been here since the 90s, talked me into going to Cigna. $300 a month for both April and I. It's really catastrophic insurance. So a good friend of ours had his back blown out, had to have surgery done.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So he had to have neurosurgery done, 4 days in the hospital. You can imagine it costing 1 day in the hospital in America. So 4 days in the hospital, post-care service, no insurance. He paid $3,600 out of pocket. So a lot of expats don't carry insurance. I'm a little paranoid about that.
Yeah.
Figured a day I don't have insurance, I'll have a heart attack or some shit.
And I'm going to the physical therapist that I'm always talking about in Toronto. And there's a ton of these places. There's all these, they call them physiotherapy here. But this guy in particular was trained in Italy, and he brought that style of physical therapy here, which is super comprehensive. And it's helping me to avoid surgery, back surgery. And in the US, I was basically told there's not much you can do other than medication and surgery. But here, he's actually treating it and having really amazing results. Good. And right now I'm paying 50 euros per appointment. And it's about an hour and a half of different physical therapy treatments in that appointment.
And seeing a specialist for that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Here's my wife asking me a question. What's the name of the hotel we just stayed at in Toronto? Villa 101, VILLA 101. Great people, right on top of the new bazaar. Because when we went there, I didn't have reservations because I figured this before the turn. We're all booked up. And I was like, oh no.
And I think tourism is increasing a ton
yes.
year by year. So I think a lot of things, things are changing, and maybe something we say might be different this year than it was for us.
Right. So Villa 101 was the last place I stayed at. Great location. The internet was really good. You know what was wicked though? I think I told you. So Abram brings this massive suitcase. So heavy. So I'm like grabbing this and trying to make it up the steps. And the lady who worked there, she's younger, she said, "Oh, I got your suitcase." So he grabs it, runs up the steps. I felt like this big. And they're shaking.
Albanians are in good shape.
Yeah.
We see that when we're walking these hills all the time, and I'm walking with my hiking poles, and these little old ladies just like walk past me, like just look at me like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah. And our tour guide, great guy.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Great guy. So he's taking me up this mountain. And I have to stop him. And when you breathe so hard you can't talk, I'm like, and he goes, "You need a break?" I'm like, and he goes, "You want a cigarette?" And I'm like, "You trying to kill me?" And he just took out a cigarette, started smoking, but it wasn't huffing and puffing at all. And Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Not Dead Yet Adventures. Really
Glad
cool
you
channel.
made it.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, check out Not Dead Yet Adventures.
Where are you, Jeff? I haven't had a chance to keep up with anyone's YouTubes this week, so I'm not sure where you are.
Channel's all over the place. I know he just got back from Poland. Where was he going? But check
he was going to Egypt.
Was he really? I want to, but I've heard such horror stories.
Yeah.
I don't mean to scare anyone, but yeah. Let's see. Yes, Weber. That was my impression too. The word about Albania is getting out. Yeah, lots of tourism. It's going through the roof, so things are booking up early and prices are up. But they're still very affordable in comparison to the States. You'll be shocked. And
I think to kind of counter that, there's a ton of new places opening up. More and more people are buying up old buildings, renovating the buildings that they have. Most things here are still independently, privately owned by families. A lot of families own multiple houses still.
Right.
Just generationally, they were passed down. And a lot of people are starting to open these up as Airbnbs, hotels, apartments, and things like that.
Right. But the prices, believe me, inflation's hit the world, but nothing like the U.S. or Canada. I've been hearing horror stories from per Canada, just getting crushed. So things are just going nuts right now. But we always look at it like we're in our own little private bubble. It's kind of nice, Things are going really well. Let's see. Okay, we're at 6:48. Okay, so I'm glad that family's going there.
Some Giza.
You in Giza right now?
Yeah.
Man, that guy gets around. Man, good for you, man. Crazy, man. You guys found the great bubble. Yes, we did, Jeff. Love it here, man. Yeah. So it's nice. It's peaceful. It's relaxful. Like I said, when I was younger, give me Toronto. Give me the city, and there's always something going on in Toronto. Oh, guess what just happened in Toronto?
What?
Get this. They had a big bicycle race.
Really?
Like Tour de France kind of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where?
No, in Toronto, but they had streets blocked out. Chris Forte was sending me pictures of it. This is the bad thing that happened, though. Oh, no. They're not used to that here. So even though they blocked off the streets, people were still crossing the street. And a couple of people got tagged by bicycles. I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry. So I should take that back.
Oh,
but they're not used to that. But there's always something going on in Toronto. They're either having concerts. Jess and I, we went to that professional boxing match, wine tasting. So it depends on what you want. But now at my age, I don't give me the hustle and bustle. I like the quiet. So things are settled now. Webster Geo-Italia was supposed to have a leg in Albania this year. That might have been it.
Interesting.
It might have been it. So we'll get better. But so much going on today. Today the weather was gorgeous. The weather's been picking up. Roses are starting to bloom. They're busting out.
Yeah, the spring here is really beautiful.
Jess asked a question about Jesse.
I missed it. How is Jesse? Oh, he's doing really well. He's with family. He's seeing everyone, doing all the things he wanted to do. He's having a really great time. And his travels went really smoothly. There were no hang-ups. I was really nervous the entire time, of course, thinking about every possible thing that could go wrong, and nothing went wrong. So, yeah, it worked out really well. Thanks for asking.
Yes, this is good. Been on for about an hour. I think we're going to shut it down unless you want to stick around.
No, I'm good.
Okay, so we back this off. So very good. A lot of people. Excellent. So, guys, thank you very much. A new life in Albania. Check out our channel if you haven't already. Show her some love. Give her a subscription. Give me a subscription. Anything helps out. So thanks a lot. Hope we answered some questions for you. I'm going to try to put my realtors in here once this thing's done loading up. But it's illyriahome.al. Okay. But I'll try to put the information down in the description box. So thank you all for coming along. We're going to try to do this weekly if we can. If we're in town, she could be traveling. I could be traveling. So we'll do our best. So goodbye, everyone. Good evening. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all for coming. Good to see you, Bailey.
Yeah. And it means a lot to us that you're here and you ask questions. That's what we like about it. Some lives, they don't want to answer questions. For us, that's all we want to do is answer questions.
Yeah.
So appreciate you guys. All right.
Appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for coming.
Bye-bye.
See ya.